Wow, everybody, look on the screen. You can see the caption. It said, the lady says, the COVID vaccine cost me my ovaries. I'm not surprised. I have read reports about this overseas, other countries, how all of a sudden people got that jab. And then women were reporting, hey, even in America, got some high infertility rates. You think? It's sad it can alter the DNA. So when this came out, a friend of mine, we were doing like so much research on it and a lot of readings and just having, the conversations like most people were. Well, let's go ahead and listen to what she has to say. It's very frightening. It's very scary. I didn't take the jab. I chose not to. I thought, it's too quick. And for those who think, oh my gosh, I'm going to go ahead and sue them. Yeah, good luck. It was a rush job. So let's listen to what this lady on the screen has to say. And I understand her story because I've heard this before. A lot of people didn't want to. I know of someone, the same thing is like the job required it. And so that's part of the reason why she took the COVID shot. So listen to what she has to say. Healthcare, and you couldn't work in any healthcare system and not get the vaccine. You just couldn't. Like, it was a no. And I was like desperate at this point. I had just came from a stint of like sleeping in my car for a couple of months of like, I need a job. And that was the first job that was available to me. And I took the vaccine. But as soon as I took the vaccine, my period stopped. Mm. My ovaries shut down. I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "Are you still getting your period?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's like intermittent." And he's like, "Yeah, well, your body's functioning like a 70-year-old woman in menopause." And I was 32 at the time. And he's like, "The only way for you to have children is to freeze your eggs right now, try to do an IVF cycle or donor eggs." I tried the IVF cycle from the hospital that I was working in, failed miserably. Okay. I needed like 4 more rounds. And the hospital at the time only gave you like $20,000 for IVF. A lifetime for a lifetime cycle, because depending on the cycle, it is very expensive. And I did $20,000 my first cycle, and so then the doctor's like, well, the only way that you're going to have a kid is if you get donor eggs, which I don't believe in them. I believe that God is going to do his big one when it's time for me to have children. Sweetheart, it sounds like the big one. Definitely not attacking faith. I would never do that. But to me, it sounds like the big one has already happened. How in the world? That's the part that frightened me. I need a job. Now, like I said, she took the COVID because she needed a job. I've heard someone said that before. At the time, people were told, hey, this person was told, and they had just quit a job, so they really needed a job, and it was paying like 80 a year. And so the person was like, hey, I needed to get this job because they had quit their other job. And they said you have to show proof that you had it. I don't even know if you remember, some people, they actually had someone selling fake COVID shots. Yeah, because there were people out there selling fake COVID shots saying, hey, yeah, I got the vaccine and here's my card. Here's my card right here. And it turns out a lot of those cards were totally fake. This is probably why some people needed it for employment, wanted to, travel. And so, yeah, they actually had some fake vaccine shots out there. So she took the vaccine, and it's understandable. She said she had experienced a period of homelessness, basically living in her vehicle. So, hey, you want to, that's not comfortable. I mean, just imagine, as for those of you sleeping in your bed last night in your home, imagine someone, how can you stretch out, be real comfortable in a car seat? Unless you got maybe a little an SUV and your back seat is full. But think, people living in their vehicles, it's not even safe. I mean, for your body, you might get leg cramps or something. How can you, toss and turn and roll over? What if you need a bathroom at night? It's things like that we take for granted, but when you're homeless, oh, that becomes the real. So this, I understand her plight. She probably saw, I need this job. I'm homeless with my vehicle. This is my, chance to level up and improve myself. I totally get it. But at what price? The price paid. That was the first job that was available to me, and I took the vaccine. But as soon as I took the vaccine, my period stopped. She looked like she's in her early 30s. As soon as she did what?
I'm like sleeping in my car for a couple of months. Like I need a job. And that was the first job that was available to me. And I took the vaccine. But as soon as I took the vaccine, my period stopped. My ovaries shut down. I went to the doctor, and the doctor's
again, they said it can what? Alter. Reports have said that the jab can alter DNA. I believe her story. Again, I have read too many reports, and it's nationwide. Too many reports. People in other countries having a fertile problem, can't get pregnant. Alters DNA. This doesn't surprise me. You know, it's kind of shocking, but then it's not. So maybe this is what they're talking about when they said it can alter DNA.
In my car for a couple of months. Like I need a job. And that was the first job that was available to me. And I took the vaccine. But as soon as I took the vaccine, my period stopped.
Wow.
My ovaries shut down. I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "Are you still getting your period?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's like intermittent." And he's like, "Yeah, well, your body's functioning like a 7-year-old woman in menopause." And I was 32 at the time.
Again, talk about change your DNA. I'm sure she never expected this. As a 7-year-old woman?
I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "Are you still getting your period?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's like intermittent." And he's like, "Yeah, well, your body's functioning like a 7-year-old woman in menopause." And I was 32 at the time.
So here we are. As a lot of people speculated, they were saying, hey, it's going to be years down the line, and people are going to realize, uh-oh, look what has happened to me. I think we're at that point. Yes, years down the line, people start to realize what exactly has happened here. Oh my gosh. You think she's the only one? Of course not. Been reports out. I've seen medical reports, medical doctors on Twitter talking about it, that it has definitely changed the DNA and not for the better. That's the scary part. This right here, civilized silent purge, part of it. I've been saying it. And I was saying initially civilized silent purge is when basically people cannot afford, can't even afford to live, just existing. You know, people cannot afford to live, can't afford to survive. Now, all these jobs, all the layoffs, no job, all the job eliminations, no job creations. I've been saying it. Civilized silent purge. And then before you know it, everybody's like totally like, oh my gosh. And you can see the trajectory of society. Okay, so once you lose your job, we'll look finding another one. Uh-oh, next thing you know, foreclosures, homelessness, evictions. Civilized silent purge. Everyone's staying calm, but I think people are going to start losing it. Oh, In-N-Out Burger. No motive been released because the shooter's not here. You just shoot random people. Anger. Flipping out. Civilized silent purge. Doesn't mean someone's got a machine gun. No, it's more civilized. Okay, so you don't have a job and you can't find a job. So now you're going to go ahead and lose your apartment. You're going to lose your home. We're going to foreclose. Pack the things that you can. Oh my goodness, you're so broke down. You can't afford to put your things in storage. And how many people have put things in storage and guess what? Still can't keep them. I got so many people come in, moving these things in these storage units. And next thing you know, they just shut down. They just totally stop paying. People are still living out of storage units. And some people are staying with someone and they go to the storage units, like grab change of clothes, things like that. They lost their place. Civilized silent purge. This right here, I say it's part of it. Civilized silent purge. Why? Because this matter, if that jab can basically stop a woman from being able to have fertilized eggs to reproduce, then guess what? Part of the civilized silent purge. Why? Less people on the population. Less people in the population. Part of the civilized silent purge. And the powers that be, they know what's going on. Oh, they know what's going on. This here, what they're doing with ICE, about beefing it up. News flash. They already know it's a matter of time. You're going to have more people freaking out. I was telling a friend of mine, I think this holiday season, I thought 2025 was really going to be was rough. I think this is going to be the worst because we keep on seeing all these people losing their jobs. But civilized silent purge, this is part of it. Less humans being populated, changing your DNA. Again, I read reports about this happening all over the world after they got that jab. Yeah. So this is part of it, in my opinion. The civilized silent purge. And then when people start to wake up, it's going to have a problem. And I hate to say this, my fear is this. So people talk about that with ICE, and how they operate. Newsflash. When it comes to the civilized silent purge and people see what is going on in the country and they become concerned. And when people have lost, some people losing everything, guess what? When that goes down, I got a newsflash for you. Everybody's not going to be coming. You're going to have more, I'm afraid, of an In-N-Out burger. You're going to have more of that. More of that happening. And it's a matter of time. I think if things get too out of control, how they're doing ICE, they'll do the very same thing to the American people. Trust and believe. So yeah, this right here, the jab changing her, altering DNA, not surprising. This is just one example. I've been reading about these reports. And I think it again is part of population control, part of the civilized silent purge. People can't survive. You're having less, then you have less births coming in. Civilized silent purge. Wow. Sad for her. It's very unfortunate for all women facing this. It's very unfortunate. I've had people to tell me they had it, friends, and their memory is not the same. They have a lot of, what do you call this? A lot of brain fog. One guy, he's like a health fitness guy, and I just kind of, he's got an extreme case. He's like, since he had that jab, um, he's saying that he's been having issues with his stomach and having some kind of, he's had to have some surgeries, and he's like, he's been having quite a few health problems, since the jab. Now it could be something else, but he's saying these things didn't happen. He's a health nut, always in that gym. Oh, Mr. Health nut, just all buff. And he's like, since that, it has concerned him. It's been years later, and he said he's still having some medical issues that he didn't have before, and he's only attributing it to the jab. That's what he says. Anyway, let me know what you all think about this. Wow. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share them out. It's crazy.